Welcome back to the Ripewave Audio community. My name is John, and for this video, we continue the Ripewave Audio series on home theater amplifiers in 2022, and this time it is with Primare. And this all began with Monolith by Monoprice. Then we covered Emotiva, Tone Winner, Iota VX, Outlaw Audio, ATI Amplifier Technologies, OSD, NAD, Marantz, Yamaha, Onkyo Integra, Rotel, Arcam JBL Synthesis, AudioControl, Anthem, Starke Sound, Parasound, and this one, our 18th video, Primare. And with this video, we have two models to cover. They're A35.2, which sells for $3,900, and the A35.8, which is just under $6,000. Let's get into this and take a look at the A35.2. Now, .2 stands for 2 channels of amplification. These support both balanced and unbalanced connections. This was introduced in 2022. This Class D amplifier is giving you 2 channels at 200 watts, and we said earlier this sells for $3,900, and very elegant design. The Primare company started back in the early 80s. They wanted to have that real elegant look. They're using a 3-foot design on this product. This unit is bridgeable, and when you do bridge it, you can get an extra 6 dBs of gain with the product. So let's take a look inside, and we can see this is very clean. They're using their own Class D module for this, of their own specifications, and a switch mode power supply of their own design. Looks very clean inside of the A35.2. Now let's move on to the brand new A35.8. Now at first I thought they would simply have just taken their same design of the 2-channel and add the additional 8 channels, but that's not the case, as we'll see later when we look inside of this. This unit, introduced this year in 2022, sells for $5,995. As we said, delivers 8 channels of amplification. It does this at 150 watts per channel, Class D. And it's, of course, balanced and unbalanced connection on the unit. Has the exact same chassis. I think it's available in this black color, and it's also available in titanium, and the 2-channel is available in titanium as well, but we couldn't find the photo for it. Of course, the only thing that changes on the front is the model number goes from .2 to .8 between these 2 models. Otherwise, the front is the same. Let's take a peek inside the 8-channel unit, and this does look a little different. Now, it's still using their own switch mode power supply, but the amplifier modules, these that are using Hypex, Primare has a sheet that explains why they're not using their own Class D module now on this new model. And they said, geez, for marketing purposes, that would have sounded great because we can say we've got our own technology that we're developing, but they bias towards providing the best sonic experience, and they felt that this evolution was best achieved with this third party. They're using the Hypex Class D modules. Very clean as well. You can see here how they're delivering the 8 channels. They've got 4 of these heat sinks that do 2 channels each, and you can see that there's a Hypex module on either side of it, and that's kind of how that layout is achieved. Looking at the side by side, as we said earlier, they're exact same chassis, same size, same color options, black or what they call titanium It looks a little bit on the silver side, but titanium is the word they use. And you can definitely see that from the interior shot that these are different circuits for the 8-channel versus the 2-channel. Now let's move on to the specifications, and this one will go fairly fast because we only have 2 models to deal with here. Now the input impedance is 15 kilo ohms for unbalanced connections, 30 kilo ohms for balanced on the 2-channel, and 36 kilo ohms for balanced on the 8-channel. So a little different. We're expecting a little different specs because they're using a different module. Now, they don't give a lot of specifications with either of these models. In fact, the input sensitivity of the 2-channel is not given. We do have the input sensitivity at 8 ohms for the 8-channel one. That's 1.7 volts for unbalanced, 3.4 volts for the balance, so double with the balanced connection. And the cost per channel, so obviously we're getting some economy of scales here. The 2-channel model is $1,950 per channel, and the 8-channel model is $750 per channel. As we said, these are both Class D, but one is using the Primare module and one is using the Hypex module. On gain, you get 29 dBs of gain for unbalanced. Interesting to see, though, that the gain drops with the balanced connection down to 20. Of course, you don't need as much there. Load impedance, it can handle 4 and 8 ohm loads, and there is no loopback line output on these models. Looking at the power output, the 2-channel model delivers 200 watts per channel into 8 ohm, versus the 8-channel is 150 watts into 8 ohms. At 4 ohm loads, the 2-channel model gives 400 watts per channel and the 8-channel gives 300 watts per channel. Now, they're not clear about these measurements and if they're doing them all channels driven or what frequency range and total harmonic distortion. In fact, the .2, they don't specify that at all. They do state that it's 110 dB signal to noise ratio, A weighted. On the 8-channel, they're at least telling you it's a 1 kilo ohm measurement at 0.01% total harmonic distortion to get those results. Maybe they're doing it the same way on the 2-channel, but since they don't tell us, we're just guessing. The bridgeable, and also the signal to noise ratio on the 8-channel model is a little higher at 115 decibels. Now, as we said, we can bridge these even on the 8-channel model. So you can take the 2-channel model and bridge it to 1 channel, and they're very flexible on the configuration. On the 8-channel model, you can bridge these in various ways, 8 channels down to 4. The bridge output for 8 ohm loads is 800 watts per channel on the 2-channel model, and then into 4 ohms, that's 500 watts. And with the 8-channel model, you can get 740 watts per channel bridge, 8 ohms and 750 watts, 4 ohms, and they even give a 2 ohm specification here of 450 watts, measured at 1 kilohertz for that 8-channel model. And you get, in the bridge mode, you can get another 6 dBs of signal to noise ratio. The measurements on this, of course, they're the same chassis, so they're all 5.7 inches, 145 millimeters high. The width is 16.9 inches on 430 millimeters. The depth is 15.8 inches, 400 millimeters. The weight is 25.8 pounds, 11.7 kilograms for the 2-channel model, and the 8-channel model is slightly heavier at 33.1 pounds, 15 kilograms. Now, they're all using an IEC removable power cord. It will auto switch between 120 and 240 volts. The power supply on both of these is the Primare APFC switch mode power supply. And the operating power, now they're not giving peak usage, they're giving a operating power of 28 watts for the 2-channel model and 65 watts for the 8-channel model. Now, I suspect they don't do peak because in Europe, where Primare is, it's a Swedish company, there's a lot of concerns about power consumption, so they probably tell the best story possible. Of course, in standby, it's very good. It's under a watt at 0.4 for the 2-channel and 0.5 watts for the 8-channel model. They're not giving other specifications we like to see, like slew rate and crosstalk and dampening factors, but we don't see any fans in either of these models. So this sums it up for Primare. What do you think of this Swedish company and the 2 models that they have that can be used for home theater today? There's a lot of flexibility with that 8-channel unit, and on their website they talk about how you can get different configurations with that, and I like how they spell it out for you. Of course, it's some of the same rules that we could do for other models, but it's that flexible bridging which is unique across all those 8 channels, and they do it in pairs for that unit. So your thoughts there, that feedback would be useful to the RipeWave audio community. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you want to take that next level so you can have access to the RipeWave audio database with all this data so you can do your own research, plus our slides, visit www.patreon.com/RipeWave, and that will be available to you. And of course, you can always hit that bell icon so you're notified when the next video is posted. Until then, keep evolving your audio experience.